Hey y'all. Well, it's been a few days since I've made a video. A couple of shorts here and there. We still have just a little bit of snow on the mountains, but for the most part it's all gone. It did snow a little bit this afternoon. I had to run to the co-op to pick up a few things for my chicken feed. I am switching over to Joel Salatin's style of feeding his chickens, and there's just a number of different types of unusual ingredients, but anyway, had to make that trip out, and it was spitting snow a little bit, but you can see where Chelsea and I have been in destruction mode. I'm going to take him back here and just show you a little bit more what's going on. I just finished taking care of the peacocks for the evening. And yeah, hold on a minute. I gotta put this in another hand so that I can open the door and one in. All right, now let me get my hands empty. This is a temporary home for the remainder of our dried flowers, and they're still very beautiful, y'all. I can't wait to use them. I'm going to make some wreaths, and we even have some over here in the drawers of this old dresser. Chelsea absolutely loves the dried zinnias, and they have grown on me. I gotta say, to begin with, I was not a fan, but they've kind of caught my interest now. And down in here, we still have straw flowers. There's some more dried zinnias, and they're interesting, to say the least. They're pretty. The straw flowers, of course, are more perfect because they basically come out of the field dry. And then, you know, these beautiful feathers, the celosia feathers, they're so pretty. But anyway, let me take in here and show you what transpired. We ended up totally taking this closet out, and which makes the room a ton bigger. But let me just do the circle in the room so you can see what we're dealing with. This window kind of faces east, and it's a very old and broken window. All the windows in the back side part of this house especially need to be replaced. And there's where the closet used to be. What we plan on doing is building a workstation, basically a long table right there against that wall, and some pegboard and shelving above, so that we can at any given time see what we have as far as our crafting supplies. And then on this long wall over here, that will be my gallery wall for my really long or big paintings. I have one painting going right now. You can see part of it right there. There's 4 panels, and when they hang side by side, it's about 9 feet long. So I will need a great deal of that wall space to put that painting, to work on it. And so this side of the house faces basically, let me see, east, something east. This one's kind of southwest. So lots of nice lighting for a studio. And look how dusty it is in here. This back part of this house hasn't been cleaned in a year. I'll just admit it. It's been ignored. It has been used for crafting. This room has actually just been used for hanging flowers in. this whole past part of this season. So my goal is to get it cleaned up. Chelsea and we've decided to take the carpet out and probably just put an inexpensive linoleum back here, which will make it less dusty and easier to clean up when we're needing to clean the floor. So that will be nice. And if you guys watch the the short with her in here, just knocking the fool out of that wall. All right, let me turn our light on. This room will be, well, let me see. I don't know. There's the lights. This room will be the gallery and also a retail space, because we'll be selling our dried flower arrangements in here. And I think Aaron's going to bring me some of his bowls to put in here. So we just want to set this room up nicely. And the center of the floor will give us plenty of space for tables, for teaching art classes, for teaching gardening classes, for whatever kind of classes we end up deciding to work with. It'll be things that we feel like we're confident enough to teach. And so I still feel like I'm pretty green with the gardening end of it, but we're learning. We're learning, and we'll share that information with people as they're interested. And then over here, this little entryway that will go out onto the porch, this is where we'll be hanging our flowers. We'll get this all nice and spiffed up and cleaned up, and walls on and a floor down. We'll be hanging our flowers in here to dry. We'll have lots of space. Actually, it's bigger probably than it looks, but we'll have plenty of space to hang flowers, because they only need about 2 weeks to dry, and then we can pull them down. And on this side over here, we're going to build like cubicles from the ceiling all the way to the floor. There'll be like 12-inch cubicles to put the stems of flowers in. Let me see. Just like so. Just put them back in there. That way the front will be facing out. We'll have to have a little curtain over the front of them just to keep them dust free. But we will be selling the dried flowers in bunches if there's anyone interested in purchasing the dried flowers as they come through this little area. And we've got to get some lighting. We've got to repaint the ceiling, finish putting up all the trim. Hugh is determined that he's going to build a mantle to cover that fireplace that he hates. And all of the stuff that's out here right now will be coming into this arts and craft room, the studio. The studio will be, my art studio, but also, where we'll be working with all the crafts and the dried flowers and everything. So yeah, this area back here is just crazy right now, but I'm certain that it's hard to see the potential amongst all the clutter. But I see where we were and where we've gotten to, and a lot of this stuff just has to be put away. That's the biggie, is just to put things away. See, we still have just piles and piles and piles of our little wood forms that we were making centerpieces, leftover centerpieces from Christmas that need to be disassembled, and the candles can be stored until next year, and the bases can be stored until next year, and the bows can be stored. The greenery all needs to just be burned. But goodness gracious, we had a blast making all of this stuff, and we sold enough that it makes me happy. I think we had a good season last year, especially with it being our very first season trying to do something like this. And all of these little wreaths that will just be disassembled and put back together later, I guess. All right. So let me take you in here and show you what's going on in here real quickly. Our Lysianthus are doing pretty good. We've lost some. I don't know why. And as you can see, some of the little plants are huge, and some are just extraordinarily still very, very tiny. And I started these on, let me see, December the 11th. And today is the 24th or 25th, I'm not even sure, January. So, and I do every once a week, I do pour, I water them with the cinnamon water. And I think that has helped with the algae, but it has not gotten rid of the algae. So I just have one little fan set up in here. I probably need to bring another fan. They are so long. They are so long in these. They won't even go in the garden until, I think, toward the end of March. So that's a long time. And you can see down here on the bottom shelf, that's where I've got fodder started. But those little trays were not working so well. So I purchased some trays, and I've got to get these started. First I'll, actually, there comes Papa. Say hi to Papa. Say hi, Pops.
Carrying wood.
Carrying wood, that's the story of his life, bless.
It is right now.
At least today's a little bit warmer than it has been.
It's going to be warm next week. That'll be good.
Yeah, it will.
I won't have to build a fire up here, I hope.
Yay. But anyway, I found these on Amazon, and they're lovely. They're nice and deep, and a little bit smaller in length, a little bit wider in width. But the grain that I'm using right now is winter wheat, and I just soak it overnight, drain it, and put it in here, and then just put it, in front of a warm window or a light source, and let it do its thing. And so I'm very excited about the fodder. The peacocks are enjoying it, and I think I'm going to go ahead, and since I'm being fairly successful with it, I think I'm going to go ahead and just start growing it for the chickens as well, and just throwing some little clumps down there for them. And then, of course, this past week, Chelsea and I got all of our seed organized and sorted. Our early spring, our cool season hardy annuals, they are ready. They are in the freezer. They will be in the freezer for a couple of weeks. Doggies are outside. And then they'll come out and sit on the counter for a day before we open them up. And then we'll start soil blocking and getting these things in their little soil blocks and downstairs. And downstairs is ready. Let's go ahead and go down there. Downstairs is, we're in the process. He worked on cutting lumber yesterday because he needs a little bit more lumber in order to finish this one wall for the grow room. These stairs are really, really steep, so I take them slow, y'all. It'll take a minute. But as you can see, we got the canning shelf built, and I got all the canning jars and everything moved from over there to over here. So, yay, that makes me happy. Now, you can see where the next wall will be. Right at the edge of that canning shelf, the wall will come this direction to about where this beam is at. And it'll be closed off right here. And there'll be another shelf about that size built on the inside of this this area, and this will be the grow room. And the grow room will be somewhat heated with probably just the little freestanding hot oil circulating heaters. Those work pretty well. And actually, when Hugh has furnace, when the furnace is warming it down here, there'll be a door on this side, and probably I will just leave it open to gather the heat from the heater in the basement. Other than that, my goal is to keep this area probably about 70 to 80 degrees when I'm growing warm season annuals. The warm season, let me see. The cool season are the hardy annuals, and the warm season are the tender annuals. But the cool season, when I need to grow those, I probably will go ahead and grow them over there in the cool room when we get it completely closed up, because I can keep that area cool. And if you remember me saying, the Lisianthus are supposed to stay below about 70, well below 70 degrees, but long about 60, 65 degrees. And right now, that room, not this past couple weeks because it's been so cold, but that room has at times gotten up in the mid 70s, and that can cause something called rosetting, in which it will put out lots, and they'll put out lots and lots of little leaves, but then they won't bloom. So obviously that's something we want to avoid. So they will be coming downstairs and going in the cool room, and I can keep the temperature in there adjusted and controlled. But anyway, well, now y'all, you've seen my really ginormous mess. It's a mess everywhere. There's clutter everywhere. We're just, again, seems to be moving everything in a big circle. But the nice thing is that this time, when everything finds a home, it should be there. That should be its permanent home from now on, because we've given this a lot of thought, considered all the different variables, and I think we've come up with some good ideas and some good solutions. So I think Huey made some coffee. I think I'm going to go sit down and have a cup of coffee and probably call this enough. Yeah, you can hear from my voice that we're still getting over this. I feel fine. I'm just still weak and tired, but we're getting there. Yay. We're getting there. It's all going to be good. All right, y'all. Love you much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.